fellas. Why the gloom?
Oh, hello.
Hey, what's the matter with you two?
Gypsum.
Gypsum? What's that got to do with us?
You mean you haven't heard?
About gypsum? Sure I have.
And you're not worried?
What's there to worry about? Gypsum is wonderful stuff.
Wonderful, he says.
Sure, it's wonderful. Gypsum isn't called white magic for nothing, you know.
White magic, he said.
That's right. It's one of our most widely used minerals, and one most of us know little about. For example, how many of us know that gypsum, white queen of minerals, is nothing more than rock? A rock blasted out of towering cliffs, 250,000 tons at a time, to serve mankind. A rock that has earned the name white magic. Taken from tunnels and shafts, it has 1,000 uses everywhere. Huge caverns are hollowed out with ceilings and floors of solid gypsum. Holes for explosives are drilled in the white mineral walls. The charge is set off. Now modern mining science swings into action with electrically operated scoops moving in and emerging with endless loads of the magic mineral. This is 20th century mass production mining. Automatic conveyors extend for miles through cavern labyrinths, carrying the rock to fleets of waiting trucks. Quarrying methods require fleets of rugged bulldozers to move the abundant harvest. Massive iron jaws bite into the shattered rock and swing around to disgorge their mighty mouthfuls. From gypsum mines and quarries, conveyors or trucks unload their cargo at rock crushers throughout the nation. Here, the mineral fragments will be reduced to more uniform size. From each crusher, the pulverized gypsum rolls on for further processing. In this plant, it rides in an aerial tram, providing a breathtaking view of the countryside. From the lowly mines, this is really getting up in the world. End of the line. One of the processing plants serving the American public in countless ways. A small industry at the turn of the century, it now operates 75 mines, quarries, and processing plants in all parts of the country. Powerful grinders further reduce the crushed mineral to such an extreme fineness, it may be carried in an airstream or transported by screw conveyors to batteries of kettle or rotary calciners. These dry rock particles are about half water by volume in chemical combination. The intense heat releases most of the water, which is quickly converted to steam. The rock actually boils, a most interesting phenomenon of science. In this calcined form, it is often known as plaster of Paris. When water is added, the resultant mass becomes highly plastic. But quickly, it begins to lose its plasticity, and the truly magical setting action has begun. Seen through a microscope, these gypsum crystals reveal what happens. They have an extreme affinity for water, and while recombining chemically, tiny needles start to grow, then interlace. Brilliant as jewels, these crystals are forming rock again, similar to that we saw taken out of the earth. With this unique ability, gypsum touches our lives in an incredible number of ways. Setting action completed, it returns to rock-like solidity. White magic, made by nature. If you've ever had a plaster cast applied, you and gypsum have been close companions. And many artists use it for making casts in live modeling. Incidentally, marble-like gypsum is called alabaster, a favorite among sculptors. For all their agility, puppets are made with this rock-like product. as are mannequins with their stony hauteur. And these are but a few of literally countless uses of gypsum.
So you see that gypsum's pretty important.
Yes, but
There's even more magic in gypsum. It has a lot of uses that most people never even dream of. As a matter of fact, gypsum even has an effect on the weather. Motion picture weather, that is.
On the screen, the snow looks real enough. But here on the set, it's actually powdered gypsum. It's used to construct complete sets. In this one, practically everything is made of the versatile mineral. Gypsum is vital to industry. Transport planes must be perfect. And aircraft factories utilize the product in scores of high-precision operations. Full-size plaster models visualize new planes. From this fuselage of gypsum, molds are made, providing exact patterns and dies for aluminum fabrication. In casting non-ferrous metals, gypsum is poured over patterns, thus creating molds. After hardening, they are removed from the pattern. Now molds are fired to remove water of crystallization. Airplane parts must be absolutely accurate. Gypsum molds produce smooth finished castings of intricate design and to minute detail. Pouring hot metal into the molds requires considerable concentration, or there's likely to be a ladle full of trouble. Into space formerly occupied by the pattern goes the metal, and the casting is completed. From foundry to finished parts is an easy jump when these molds are used, since high-precision casting usually eliminates the cost of machining. In mechanical whirlpools like this, gypsum is mixed for widely varied products. Complex molds for ceramic fixtures are easily formed, giving long life in production use. What do you know? Here's a lavatory in reverse. From it, gleaming porcelainware by the hundreds will be made for homes everywhere. Gypsum is indispensable in the creation of fine chinaware. Special ceramic clay is poured into gypsum molds for every conceivable pattern. This is a cross-section of an embryo teapot. The magic mineral provides molds for 1,001 shapes. Again, the mold is neatly removed. And an intriguing new personality will come into being, ready to be glorified and brighten our lives. Agricultural gypsum helps bring new vim and vigor to growing crops and adds calcium and sulfur for health-giving food. The mineral helps us learn more about the universe. This giant 200-inch mirror of the Mount Palomar telescope will reveal more secrets of celestial space. Telescope lenses and mirrors have long been bedded in gypsum during incredibly precise polishing operations. Countless as the stars are uses of this magic rock. Enough gypsum products are manufactured each year to fill a freight train extending from coast to coast.
And that, my friends, is a lot of gypsum. And you ain't heard nothing yet. So, see what I mean? Gypsum is wonderful.
But it's fireproof, huh? Gypsum is fireproof.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, yes, indeed. And how?
You mean?
Exactly. You see, that's why most of the gypsum produced is processed into building materials for our homes, modest or pretentious. Hospitals and schools, stores, factories, and public buildings. Multi-story apartments where congestion dictates rigid fire protection. Skyscrapers and structures of all types everywhere. This is a typical gypsum factory, producing gypsum lath. Here, specially designed paper is fed into the board machines. The gypsum core is mechanically mixed and deposited on 3 streams of paper. This large roll supplies the top 3 layers of paper to produce 3 streams of a carefully prepared core, sandwiched between 2 paper surfaces. As the lath rolls on, it quickly hardens. Now, holes are punched out And this rotating guillotine cuts the continuous lath into proper lengths. The parade continues, performs a neat maneuver, and marches on. Now it goes into the dryer, where excess moisture is removed. Gypsum building materials are produced at a rate fast enough to construct 3,000 houses every day in the year. The plaster, too, is gypsum. When finished, it's an ideal base for decoration like this. And here's the inside story. Gypsum lath, too. And precast gypsum wallboard with invisible joints for a smooth expanse of walls and ceiling. Gypsum lath and wallboard with aluminum foil helps keep weather out and comfort in. Serving a dual purpose, they insulate and reduce moisture condensation because the shiny aluminum foil faces the stud space. This smart wood paneling is really, but of course, gypsum wallboard. One of many wood grains for a wide variety of decorative treatments. Gypsum sheathing with tight-fitting V-joints is sturdy and economical. Gypsum roof decks cover many churches and countless acres of industrial and public buildings all over America. Gypsum tile fire protects structural steel and builds fireproof partitions. Even under intense heat, these building materials will not burn, for they are made from rock. And, more important, they protect other building materials vulnerable to fire. This drawing shows fire attacking gypsum. Remember, it is about half water in crystalline form. Little by little, this is driven out as steam, delaying the fire's progress, and the opposite side remains relatively cool. Here's the principle. The hand does not feel the intense heat until all the ice is melted. A flame of 1,700 degrees requires a full hour to eat only about 1 inch into gypsum. Think what this means as a safeguard for wood, which burns at about 400 degrees. Even steel begins to crumple at about 1,000 degrees, but 2 inches of gypsum make it fire safe for hours. Its fire resistance is unsurpassed, as this underwriter's laboratory test proved. Behind the moving panel is a veritable furnace, subjecting the gypsum to as much as 2,200 degrees of heat. These flames would quickly consume ordinary materials. The gypsum panel has been a barrier to both smoke and flame during the test duration. Now the panel is withdrawn, and the exposed face subjected to a powerful hose stream. Here's the important point. The wood framing is unharmed. Protected by gypsum, its temperature has not greatly exceeded 212 degrees. No other building material offers such fire protection and at the same time makes possible such attractiveness. Gypsum enables architects to incorporate aesthetic values while meeting legal requirements of building codes. Paint or wallpaper, smooth, stipple or panel finish, moldings, recesses, archways, color, form and line, gypsum allows the use of them all, wherever and whenever practicality and beauty is a governing factor. No other material so universally used in so many ways to express man's instinctive need for harmonious surroundings. Huge investments in our most prominent structures demand the extreme durability of gypsum. Gypsum made from rock to last the lifetime of the building.
Good taste, versatility, economy,
Durability.
but fireproof. And you know what that means to us.
It means the end.